Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another Final Fantasy VFX's video, and I apologize for the late review, but it's here now. So Lasswell is here. Wouldn't be interesting, Dark Lasswell, that'd be pretty interesting. His STMR is actually quite valuable because it does have 50% attack and magic TDH or true to wield, so it's pretty flexible. I think even people on global will like that, especially since it has pretty good stats on it. His TMR is a TMR. It does give pretty good stats, but it's not stackable. I thought maybe on global they would do that because the attack magic is kind of low on it, but it is what it is. Hopefully in the future this will be craftable like +1 or something to make it a little higher stats. But anyways, has 150% ice amp. I have to mention this on a lot of units because some units actually still don't have amps that are strong, so we have to still have to mention them every now and then. Has physical and magical shifts, so in his base form he's a physical DPS, he's basically just like his other Neo Vision form, but a lot better, a lot more fleshed out. So in his Brave Shift form he's a magic user he's a lot stronger I think honestly his Brave Shift form is a lot stronger, but both sides are pretty good. And his base form is a chainer, his Brave Shift form is a magic finisher, but he does have some chaining, but it's just ability chaining. So 180 times mod for his base form, 160 times mod buff for the Brave Shift form, and the reason why the Brave Shift form is better is because it has the store buff. And the store buff beats out any kind of mod buff you'd get in the base form. And keep in mind, if you're going to be using this guy, keep in mind that the cooldowns are specifically for those forms. So if you use the base form cooldown, it does not give the mod buff for the Brave Shift form LB. Keep that in mind, guys. They don't really, I think they dropped doing this kind of thing later on, but for Cloud and for Lasswell, they did this for some reason, but I think in the future they dropped that and they just made it to all LB mod buff for all physical LBs and stuff like that from now on after this unit, I believe. 40% gun and peril in the Brave Shift form as well. That's why he's stronger in the Brave Shift form. He only has 35% katana and peril in the base form. So really the base form is really, honestly, at this point in my experience, I think the base form is best with the new rain that's going to be coming soon, because they can both chain together. Even though they might not be the same element, it still works in Dark Visions just fine. I got a pretty high score in the Dark Vision Abyss with this guy and the rain chaining together. So alright, so there really isn't much else to say. And even though it doesn't look like there's a lot here in the weaknesses, the first one is the biggest thing. So even though there's only two things here, the first one's the biggest thing that's holding him down, and the reason why I don't understand why they didn't give him a buff. So he's literally the only leader of all the leaders that I've discussed many weeks in a row. You know, Rain, Squall, Ace, the new Lightning, things like they don't have 300%. This is the only guy in the entire game's history so far that only has 300% attack and magic for their leader skill, and I don't understand why, other than the only thing I could think of is I guess they still didn't want Regina to be really good, but like at this point I don't think many people were using Regina besides Dark Visions, and even then, so I don't understand why they decided to make it so Regina couldn't get higher stats. I guess we don't need the 100% extra. I don't know, they overvalued the 100% extra defense and spirit buff. We don't even need that. 200% is more than fine, so it's not like we need the 300% full stats. Now if this was like 300% attack, magic, defense, spirit, HP, and MP, it could be kind of useful in some situations with the 300% HP and MP. I mean, that would be pretty big buff, but whatever, I guess. And then the smaller one on the smaller weakness is kind of like a nitpick, but he wants to be true dual wield with the 400% true dual wield buff that Global got, but at the same time that he doesn't have 8 times cap because it doesn't exist yet for Global. So he doesn't get that, so he's gonna be a lot weaker than Rain, of course. So I'm going to give him a generous score of 7 out of 10 just because he can work well with Rain, and he's pretty strong in his Brave Shift form. He does have the amp, but his leader skill holds him down like a lot. It's like pushing your head down like this, That's how much his score is going down because, yikes! I don't even understand why they didn't buff him. It's just super laziness and incompetence on the global staff to not fix Alm's issue of giving him a bad leader skill. So yeah, I have to score what I see in front of me, guys. So let's move on to the next unit. By the way, I didn't make a side for Lasswell's vision card because I'm assuming a lot of you guys are not going to be pulling for him and probably get him as an off banner. So his vision card, of course, is very good, but it's tied to EX3, so he's kind of like a semi-premium where you can get him from this step up, but you have to go to EX3 to get his vision card. Anyways, she has 150% Earth Amp. She has a cooldown reduction for one ally for one turn, and 40% Earth Amp field. That's just on a normal ability, no SLB activation or summoning or anything like that. You just get a field. So that's it. Those are the highlights. There's a reason, guys. There's a reason why they're guaranteeing Lasswell on the step up there, because you can also unfortunately walk away with this unit here. So that's the reason why the step up is more generous than normal. She wants to be an Earth finisher, but she is really bad at it. Only 410 times mod with the cooldown boost, by the way, and that's SLB, not LB. And only access to one store buff, which is the cooldown. And unfortunately, a lot of mages that are coming out on the JB version are unfortunately having this problem where their store buff is on the cooldown, and just not like a normal ability like how Dark Reign's TMR kind of is. And the rest of her kit is useless. That's it. She has really weak chaining. Her strongest move is the Quake chaining, which you can quad cast, but on global there really isn't anyone who's using Quake. So yep, there's a reason why there's guaranteed new vision at the end. Doesn't happen very often, and she's the reason why. So she's getting a 5, and that's even I'm being generous enough. I'm not trying to be too negative on her because at least she can do damage, but getting her in that step up is kind of like a big L. You might as well just go back to bed if you pull her. So, alright guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Appreciate you guys watching. Leave a like on my reviews if you like them. Consider becoming a member to the channel. I know I don't plug it very often, but if you want to help support the channel, click the join button to become a member to the channel. There's many categories of memberships, and the cheapest one is only $1. So thank you guys very much for watching again. Appreciate you, and I hope to see you in the very next video.